Hi, so I'm Kelsey. I took the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, and my letters were ESTJ, which I felt applied to me perfectly. The first one being extrovert. I definitely get all of my energy from surrounding myself with other people and friends and big crowds and environments like that. There is a part of me that really likes to be introverted sometimes when I've been around a lot of people too much, but definitely I can tell that I fall on the extroverted side of the scale, which didn't surprise me, as I said. And then my second letter is an S, so that's for sensing. And I tend to be very analytical and fact driven, and I like to base most of my decisions on logic and things like that. I'm not a big intuition person. I don't like going with gut things, gut feelings. I just like to know the facts and then sit down and make an educated decision based on that, which I also describes me very well. And then thinking over feeling, this was the most dramatic difference between the scales. I'm heavily on the thinking side. I really I have feelings, but I don't like expressing them a lot. I like to just kind of keep it in. And then, especially when it comes to decision making, definitely more of a follow your head and not your heart type. I like to be very straightforward, and that also ties back to sensing the kind of analytical. And I don't like to base things on angry emotions or, spur of the moment decisions. I'm very just like I want to think things through. And then my last letter was a J for judging. And so that kind of goes with I like being super organized and task driven and decisive. I hate when there's a decision to be made and it's not being made. So I definitely like to judge situations. And I feel like that one's kind of, I fault in, tend to be more in the middle. But I definitely like to have my planner and everything right now and get homework assignments done weeks in advance and things like that. And so then I don't really know exactly where I want to study abroad. Definitely in Europe somewhere. I've often thought Spain or Italy, kind of considering London now. But honestly, the one that I've been tending to lean more towards recently has been Switzerland, which is just kind of a random one. But Switzerland's kind of an interesting country, and I was reading the article that we have to read for today's class, and they have a big German population and a French population. It's kind of like a melting pot. Switzerland honestly is with like Dutch and different things like that. And so I was comparing Switzerland to the culture map, and honestly, I think that my personality traits, the ESTJ, will fit very well in Switzerland because, for instance, on this one, I don't know if you can see it, but they have direct negative feedback. And so, personally, me being a thinking and judging type, I love direct negative feedback. I hate when people beat around the bush, try to be mushy, or make you feel better about it. I just kind of want to give it to me straight. And so the Dutch and like the Germans fall very heavily on direct negative feedback, which I think is really interesting. So I think that will go pretty well for me. They're also a very, Switzerland tends to be very built on leadership and hierarchy type. And one quote that I really liked from reading the book that the Switzerland like motto is they say like uniform no uniformity yes let me find it. Unity, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Unity, yes. Uniformity, no. So I liked that a lot. They like to be unified and work together towards things, but they hate being uniform and put in these boxes with like their other peers. And they describe the people of Switzerland as very competitive and tough, and they tend to be materialistic, which I found really interesting because I feel like America also tends to be very materialistic and competitive, and we also, we praise extroverts more than introverts. I feel like in America, so I honestly see a lot of comparisons between Switzerland and the United States. Trust, they seem to be very task based, not as relationship based, which also kind of fits me well. If people can show me that they can get tasks done and do what they say they're going to do, then I tend to trust them a lot more. And so the people of Switzerland seem to be kind of like that too. So honestly, out of all the countries I've looked at in going to Europe, Switzerland would probably coincide the most with my personality traits. There's definitely gonna be things I need to work on and learn about and be ready to go into. But honestly, I see a lot of comparisons between the country I'm hoping to study in and my Myers Briggs test.